Hi everyone, it's Unimace back for week 2. If you're new here and you're not sure what this is about, you should check out the week 0 video, which is linked down in the description and here at the top. It will give you a clearer picture of what this journey is all about. Today I'll recap what I have accomplished this week. So here's the plan. First we'll go through the courses that I've studied this week, next the books that I have read, and finally at the end the numbers. So exactly how much time I have spent studying, how much time I have spent reading, and finally how much time I have spent fasting, and at the end how much weight I've lost. At the end of the video, I'll break down how I've been managing my time this week, so you can see how much time I spend on sleeping, working, studying, reading, and here you will see exactly in percentage how much time I spend learning, and spoiler alert, it's not that high of a number. Now let's set some realistic expectations. I won't be claiming that I read 300 books in a week or I studied for 72 hours straight. Or some alpha grind mindset. I'm just a regular guy with a regular job that is just trying to change the time that I've spent on scrolling Instagram Reels or watching YouTube and allot that time to learning. If you're here for the numbers, you can skip to the last chapter that is named Totals, but if you want to know exactly what I've studied this week, stick around. The first course that I tackled for this week was Japanese from 01, which is this book right here. In lesson 1, I managed to learn how to create basic sentences using the question word nani, which means what, and the question marker ka. It introduced the first 5 hiragana and a couple of words that I needed to memorize. All in all, it was not that hard, but then I went to lesson 2, which was much harder, where I had to learn the concept of koso ado, which gives you the ability to ask questions like what is this, what is that, which one, etc. It introduced 10 new hiragana and a lot of words that I needed to memorize. All in all, it was a harder lesson, but I managed to learn it and I think I got 90% of it right. I will study it a little bit more next week. Second course was CS50's Introduction to Computer Science. I finished the last problem in the previous problem set from the previous week. It was optional, but it was easy, so I still decided to do it. After that, I moved on to the lecture video for week 2, which was named Arrays. I learned a lot about arrays, character manipulation, and command line arguments. And finally, I did a problem set 2 for that week. It was kind of hard, especially the second to last problem, which was the Caesar cipher. And actually, it was much harder than the last problem, which was optional, and it was called substitution. But all in all, I finished it. I can move on to the next week easily. Third course was the College Algebra book by Blitzer. I finished the scientific notation and exponents section by solving the last 100 problems. And then I moved to the next section, which was called Radicals and Rational Exponents. Here I did around 115 problems and the whole section is about roots, not the band, the mathematical concept. It was a little bit harder than the previous section and I still have around 40 exercises to do at the ends and then I can move on to the next section. Last course was the College Algebra Udemy course by Demet Sorcerer. I finished Functions and Relations section and this is where the change happened. I completely decided to drop this course. I think it is not helpful for me because there are not a lot of problems that you can do and the explanations are a little bit short. It's not a diss on the course. It's probably helpful for someone that is currently studying college algebra in college, but for somebody that is trying to learn this from the start, I think it doesn't give you enough insight. So moving on, I'll stick to the 3 main courses, which are the Introduction to Computer Science by CS50, Japanese from 01, and the College Algebra book by Blitzer. I want to do a lot more. I want to do courses in piano, in guitar, and all the other things, but I need to keep focused and finish these 3 courses, and then I can move on to the next one. This week I finished 2 mangas and 1 book. I'm sticking to my rule of alternating between the books and the manga just to avoid reading burnout if there is such a thing. The 2 manga that I have read were Tokyo Ghoul 2 and 3. This is the second one. I don't have the third one. I read it online. I need to get it in physical form. So you will just have to imagine it. I will not spoil the story for you, but if you're into thrilling, dark stories, you should check it out. The book that I finished was Brief Answers to Big Questions by Stephen Hawking. It was his last book. It was released after his death, and it tries to give you answers to the 10 most important questions. So this is this book right here, and the questions that he is giving answers to were like, is there a God? Is time travel possible? Should we colonize space? And a lot more things. It is not that complex. A Brief History of Time was way more complex than this one, although a lot of text from A Brief History of Time was copy-pasted into this book. And I found one quote really interesting, which I will read it to you now, and I like it. We're all time travelers journeying together into the future, but let's work together to make that future a place we want to visit. Quite cool. So here are the totals for this week. I will switch on the infographics so you don't have to look at my face all the time. So first, for the non-learning goals, fasting was 114 hours this week, 315 hours in January 1st. For the weight loss, I have lost 1 kilogram. I'll convert it to pounds also this week, and in total 4.1 kilogram since January 1st. So for the courses and learning, College Algebra Math Sorcerer 1 hour, College Algebra Blitzer 6 hours, Japanese from 0-1 6 hours, and CS50 6 hours. So total learning time was 19 hours this week, or 41 hours total since January 1st. Books: Tokyo Ghoul 2 and 3, 2 hours, Brief Answers to the Big Questions 3 hours, and the total reading time is 5 hours this week, or 12.5 hours in total. So for the time breakdown, for the sleeping part, it is the most important one and the biggest category. It's 8 hours per day. For the MISC part, which stands at 29%, it's cleaning, commuting, relaxing, making this video. For work, 8 hours per day, Monday to Friday. And finally, self-improvement, which is learning and reading, at 15% of my time in total. Even though it's a small percentage, at 15%, it can change a lot of things. I'm no longer scrolling to Instagram Reels or watching a lot of YouTube videos because practically I don't have time to do that now. And that's it for week 2. If you're interested in any of the courses or books mentioned, you can look them up down in the description. Thank you to everybody who watched the previous videos, liked or subscribed. It means a lot and it keeps me motivated. If you're interested into following along on this journey, please hit subscribe, or if you have any kind of tips or tricks or you want to share your own journey, comment down below. That's it. The next video is scheduled for January 27th. If you don't see a video then, well, it means I've failed. Until next time, thank you and keep learning.